Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Inside Lion Athletics. Hey, it's your Thanksgiving version today. Teams have been out rolling around. We've got a few seasons that have come to a close, some more that are just starting to build up. Let's talk about those and a little Thanksgiving business. Starting out right away with head coach Valerie King with the Lions women's. What a thriller you had the other night, that victory over Texas Southern. Got a couple of nights off with the squad and then a little Thanksgiving trip to Phoenix.
Yep. Pulled the game out at Texas Southern last Thursday. Kids had a couple days off, and then we were back at it Sunday. So we've had three really good days of practice, especially on a lot of stuff that we've needed to work on ourselves.
Coach, I'll have to catch up a little bit and see how things are going. But what were those things you wanted to work on after tell us a little bit about the Southern game, if you would.
Yeah, I mean, we had a super slow start. I think we were down 14-4 right out of the gate. First quarter was it just wasn't very good on either end of the floor. Second quarter, we got our heads together, changed that, and took the lead at halftime. Kind of went back and forth throughout the second half. And we had a chance to win it in regulation, just missed a shot. They took the, quick 6-0 lead into overtime, and we tied it up. And then after that, I think we held control of it the last couple 2.5 minutes. But rebounding is a major thing for us right now. And just getting a little tougher and going to attack the ball instead of just trying to out jump people. So the last 3 days we've done a lot of that, and just going back to our roots of getting back in, getting our defensive back on track.
Rose always reminds me when I talk about chemistry and those sort of things that, hey, we've had since the summer to work on chemistry, but it's still a little bit different in season. How
Yeah.
all your newcomers come along fitting in and or do you have that conference rotation that you're looking for?
I think we're getting there. I think probably the next couple weeks will, probably be set into what our rotation will be. But I would say we're almost there. And I think we've got a pretty good rotation right now. We got to be able to extend some of those minutes with some of our kids off the bench, though.
Who has surprised you the most to point? Of just what limited I've seen, Nylock Dak has been
Yeah,
a real key addition, as well as, I mean, the others that are starting, but she's been a
right.
surprise off the bench.
Yeah, Nylock has been really good. From the first day she got here in June. She's worked her butt off. And she soaks everything in. She's a sponge. She wants to learn, she wants to grow, and she wants to be better. So, that's the biggest thing right now. She's been really good. And Alva and Nina have been really good. Hannah's been good. All the newcomers have really been what we thought they would, and maybe even better.
Trinity Moreland, you're getting a few more minutes per game out of her.
Yeah, we're trying to get her some more minutes. I think it's based off of, personnel who we're playing, the type of style they like to play, stuff like that. So I'm hoping to get her some more minutes this weekend.
Cora had to do so much last year and, ended up one of the better assist dealers last season, but she doesn't have to do that so much this year, does she?
Yeah, she again, I think we've talked about this a lot. Cora's going to do whatever, it takes to win a game, whatever we need for her to do. And she's scoring it. When she doesn't score it, she finds her open teammate. So, and I think the thing that probably a lot that's not on the stat sheet is, how good she is on the defensive end for us. She covers up some holes that we have, and she can make plays.
You've got another guard, I believe it's the transfer from Tarleton that she's like three times the assists anybody else.
Yeah, Keisha's, she is a pass first point guard. And, that's something that was really intriguing to us when we were recruiting her out of the portal during the spring. And she's quick as lightning. She is super smart. And her and Cora really complement each other. because Cora can go score it, and Keisha really looks to find her teammates and making that extra pass.
All right, tell us a little bit about the two games coming up. These are both squads playing out of the WAC, Grand Canyon U and Seattle. What are your expectations of them?
Both really good teams. We'll see Seattle first on Friday. They um, they they will typically play a lot of zone, so I'm thinking we will see a lot of zone on Friday.
Every Lion coach's
They
favorite.
play at least 60% of the games are zone, and I imagine maybe a little bit more against us. So that's something we've really been looking at. Both teams are going to press, so we've got to be able to take care of the ball. Get it up the floor, attack, shoot the three, attack the basket when we have the advantage, and then just run offense when we don't. But you know, taking care of the ball is going to be a big thing, and obviously rebounding, something that we talk about every day right now.
Do those upcoming Southland Conference openers, basically a month earlier than we would normally start because of the additions to the league, but are those starting to loom a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think I catch myself watching more conference games this time of year in November than I probably ever have. So, those are a couple weeks away. So, it's we get through these next three games and then it's all about conference.
Coach, from watching those, have you seen any teams that have surprised you a little bit and how different they are from a year ago?
I mean, I think a few, but I think everybody has, recruited really well. I think they've got teams that obviously, that can really compete in the Southland. So I think every single night, and it was like this last year, every single night's going to be a battle.
All right, Coach. So this is not a trick question, and everybody's going to get it today because tomorrow's Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Give us a great Thanksgiving memory, whether there was basketball in it or not.
Carl, you should have sent me this question before.
Well, if you have so many to choose from, just pick one.
I mean, I mean, especially being in basketball, I think it's, the past, I mean, since I went to college, since I was 18. So 24 years has been spent with a team, which is your family. So I think that's, I'm sure I can't think of just one thing off the top of my head, but I think just spending it with the people that you're around every single day, is special. So I'm glad that, we'll be in Phoenix, we'll be together, and we'll, have Thanksgiving dinner together tomorrow night.
That'll be great. I look forward to it too. All
Yeah.
right, Coach. Well, Lions up. Y'all have safe travels today, and we'll see you out in Arizona mañana.
Awesome. Thanks, Charlie.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Inside Lion Athletics. I'm Charlie Chitwood. We've got a Thanksgiving special for you today. Had Valerie King to start out with us first. Now we have Joe Morales, head coach of the Lion women's volleyball squad. Their season's come to a close. A loss to the top seed Southeastern Louisiana Lions knocked them out of the Southland Conference Championships. And now it's time to go out and recruit. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, Charlie.
Oh, thank Avi.
Thanks, Avi.
Hey, how did it go down? It was a quick trip, and that wasn't the one that y'all had in mind, but it's on to next year.
It is. It's not the way we wanted to finish, and I think we didn't play as well as we wanted to, but we did some good things, and it was a learning curve for us for sure. I mean, everything hypens at when you get to the conference tournament. So, I mean, Southeastern was playing better than we saw them the previous Thursday, and we had to come with our A game, and I don't think we did. But it was a learning experience, and it's like I told the team, one game doesn't define the accomplishments we made in the season, and I think we exceeded those expectations, but definitely some room to grow for sure.
Postseason honors went around after the tournament came to its close. Your Lions were not left out of that.
Yeah, we had one kid get the second team all conference, Katana Tufuli. I'm gonna be a little bit biased. I thought we probably should have one more, but we're excited that we did have that Katana get to that point, and she's done really well, and people notice her on the court, and that was phenomenal. So we're looking to grow that as well, and get a little bit more kids on there, and of course that comes with a little bit more winning too. So we got to grow that as well.
Your younger players that have just finished their first season of collegiate volleyball, um, how are they looking? How are they feeling? Has it been kind of what they thought it was going to be?
I think so. I think this is the first year that we actually, in my transition year, we had a lot of young kids play early on just because of where we were, and me coming in January and having to recruit fast. And I think
Mm-hmm.
this year we finally got to the point where our freshmen are a little bit more, they got to be a little bit more patient now. They can't come in right away expecting to play a lot of sets and
Mm-hmm.
rotations, and sometimes it's going to be someone on top, in front of you. And so, but I think they did a good job of being patient with that. Even kids that transferred in that were really good on their team had to do a little bit of learning curve and had people in front of them. And so I think it's a testament to how good we're getting, to the point where younger kids coming in have to be patient and wait, and that's the growing process. And I think that's where we want to be, um, as competitive as we want to get. So
Mm-hmm.
it was good. So I think a lot of patience and learning, but I think the fire's still set under them. So I think that's a good thing.
So recruiting starts up for you right away, soon as you
Wait.
got off the bus
Yeah,
almost.
yeah.
And it'll be a mix of newcomer, I mean, freshmen, but you're also going to watch that portal and see what happens over there.
Yeah, it's a crazy navigation that we have to do, and I think the port. I mean, there's still kids getting in the portal right now that are not scholarship kids, maybe walk on or they're graduating and
Mm-hmm.
circumstantial. But December 8th, it opens up for all the kids, and I mean, the notion of the roster cap is coming, and I think that's going to have a lot to do with the portal growing a little bit. So we got to act fast. We got to be, working right away as soon as that hits. We are on top of it, prepping for that, my staff and I, and but at the same time, we want to get the right kid. We want to get the right kid for East Texas, and so
Mm-hmm.
culture and is a big thing for me, and character is a big thing for me, and so it's tough when you're recruiting via portal because everything happens so fast, and so you don't have the time like you're recruiting a high school where you get to see them your junior year and talk to them a little bit more and meet their families, and then you get them the senior year and you see how they grow, where the portal is, get it done. And so we got to do our due diligence and be ready for that. But it's coming, and it's gonna hit pretty fast and hard. So we just got to be ready for it.
With that outlook, where there's so many kids in the portal you don't know, there are still some that pop up that you do know, right? People that
Yeah,
you recruited before and
yeah,
or have
that's
seen
it.
play in the conference or in a
Yeah,
non-conference match.
or recruited that maybe not have decided on our school, and then all of a sudden something happens and they're back in the recruiting process. So yeah, I always say recruiting always happens full circle, and you know you can't predict what's going to happen. It's you can't, and kids are sometimes going after the flashy, shiny new toy, right? And so
Hmm.
it's not always the grass not always green on the other side. And so we just got to be patient. But yeah, it's full circle, and I'm not, that's already happening. So it's a good thing, and the good thing about it is people are still remembering East Texas. So whether they come the first time go around or they're circling back to us, the fact that they still have us on our radar is a good thing. And I like that, and um, it is a process, and sometimes the kids don't get it right the first time, and they're figuring it out, and that's okay. And if it lands on us, we want to talk about it and see if it's a good fit. And so, but it is a good thing, and yeah, you're absolutely right. It is full circle.
Um, Last thing with regards to that, the portal, everybody, just the casual fan, they hear about the portal, the portal. The
Right.
portal has changed almost every year, has it not, since it started?
It has. There's always been caveats or rules or windows or periods, and circumstances, and NCAA never gets it right on the first go or second go, and so there's always, we saw this with the COVID, we saw this with the fifth years, and so
Hmm.
everything's always changing, and it's always going to be a different landscape. So you have to be able to navigate through those changes and adapt to those changes. That sometimes we don't agree as coaches, we don't, or even administrators don't agree with what's happening with NCAA, but it's it's changing and it's here. And
Hmm.
so you have to conform to it a little bit and manage it a little bit and go with the times. And so, you can only control the things we can, and the things that are out of our control, you got to be prepared for it. And so I think we're doing a good job as a university, as a department, but also as a program too. I think we're doing a good job of navigating those windfalls a little bit. But it has
Okay.
it's continuing to change, and it's probably going to change next year too. So we just got to be ready for it.
Wait and
It's
find out.
Yeah, absolutely. You never know with the NCAA. So it's just every day something new.
All right, Coach, last question. How about a favorite Thanksgiving memory? A lot of times, some sports they're in the middle of it, some sports are coming up on the end. And like you and the volleyball squad, you'd still like to be playing right now.
Yeah. We definitely still like to be playing. There's only been twice in my career that I've gone and still played during Thanksgiving. But volleyball's a little different. We always have Thanksgiving. With our families, and people are able to go home even if it's for a day or two when you're playing in the NCAA tournament. Gosh, it's really tough, and I think Thanksgiving as a team, we don't get to visit that as much because kids are always with their families,
Hmm.
um, as coaches are too. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and go a little personal. I think my one of my favorite Thanksgiving moments was, I think I was in college, post college, or no, in college, and
Hmm.
a bunch of my high school buddies. We all took a trip and we went to New York for Thanksgiving and had Thanksgiving there with some friends of mine that were in Columbia University, and
Oh, that's
we
awesome.
we got to see the Macy's Day Parade, ice skating in Central Park and Rockefeller Center. It was truly magical, and everybody knows, they wake up and they watch the parade in New York, and I want to say that's the year the pink. I don't know if you remember, Charlie, but the big floats that they
Uh-huh.
the ones that kind of ride in the air that they
The
hold, and they had
walkers.
the yeah, and they had the Pink Panther that year, and I think it was that year that the Pink Panther actually collided and came down on
I
the
think I
street, and it
remember
was a
that.
big commotion and whatever. But no, that was one of my fun experiences. I think first time I've been in New York too, and so it was delightful, and to this day I still keep in touch with those guys and those friends, and but it's about family, it's about friends, it's about experiences, and I think for personal note, that was mine. That was one of my favorite Thanksgiving memories.
That's
Something
awesome,
new,
man.
something new.
All right. Thanks for
Yeah,
sharing that. It's always fun
yeah,
to hear. All right,
yeah,
Joe,
absolutely.
lines up. We're going to end
Lines up.
this segment, and we've got more Inside Line Athletics, friends, coming your way right after this.
Thank you, Charlie. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Joe. Same to you and yours. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to more Inside Lion Athletics. We've got a Thanksgiving edition. Hope you're all getting ready for the holidays. It'll be a good day to eat and watch some games. Head coach Jaret von Rosenberg is joining us now. Coach, we feels like we just got off the bus a little while ago.
Yeah, this first 3 weeks of the season, 3.5 weeks of the season have obviously involved a lot of travel, a lot of basketball games, and literally from today on out, our schedule's a lot more conducive to being good from the standpoint of having some home games and road games mixed in. But we've been on the road 7 of our 8 games this year early season, so. Or 6 of our 7, however many games we played, I can't keep them straight. But good to get our guys back. Traveled yesterday, long travel day, coming back from Boston, and they're getting a completely full day off tomorrow, and then we'll dive into Purdue Fort Wayne Thursday, Friday, Saturday morning, and get ready for a 1 o'clock tip on Saturday.
All right, coach, to this point, and you've already mentioned how it's just been a bear with all the travel. You came out of it without anybody in any kind of injury place. That might be the best thing of all.
Yeah, we're very healthy and we're doing some good things statistically. We're not putting things together quite yet. That where we need to come out on the right side of the scoreboard, but it's a process. If you look at our schedule, we tell our guys we prepare for every game, whether we're playing the best team in the country or the worst team in the country. We prepare the same exact way, try to give ourselves a chance to win. But realistically, if you look at our schedule, there wasn't a lot of wins to have there on the board unless we, played this perfect game in some scenarios. So we're playing better. Guys are in good spirits. Obviously, if you look at our record, it's not what anybody wants, but I want our players not to focus on that and focus on the process of what we're trying to do, get ready for Southland Conference play.
Well, it won't be long before that begins, and then you get the clean slate at the beginning. Coach, offense, defense, which side of the ball are your guys maybe a little bit further ahead of where uh, you thought they might be?
Um,
Or are
Defensively, we're doing a really good job creating turnovers. We're one of the tops in the country, turnover percentage and stuff. So we're doing a good job there. Uh, we're very capable on that end, and we're having some letdowns that are just that kind of inexcusable where we want to send the ball, and those things we have to clean up immediately. Our offense has gotten better and is coming along. It was great to see our forwards be able to stretch the floor and hit some shots. When we play like we want to play, the shot distribution is really good. Everybody that gets on the floor, just based on how the defense is playing and when your opportunities present themselves, got to be ready to step up and make shots. And we're really good when we have 4 or 5 guys in double figures, not when we have one guy scoring 20 and everyone else kind of, taking a couple shots here and there. We need to have good ball distribution. And I think we have it there. We definitely have the players to do it and continue to get better, and we'll just keep working at it.
so the game up at in Eaton last night, 2 nights ago, when we took on who was it we played?
Stonehill. Yeah.
Stonehill. That's right. I don't have the schedule in front of me. Coach, what are your thoughts on that one? I mean, at the end, it came down to that execution of the one play to get it in, and they just kind of hiccuped on that.
Yeah, we really went on a great stretch from like I don't know the exact, but like the 13 minutes to the 8-minute mark in the second half. And we had multiple chances to break it open. I think we led by 8 at one point, but we
Mhm.
had 2 or 3 threes, really good offensive possessions, ended up with threes to make it like an 11-point game or to make it a 10-point game. And we had an opportunity when we were getting stops and being productive, and when you don't do that on the road, when you don't capitalize on your chances right there and chances
Mhm.
to extend the lead, and you let a team hang around, it's just what happens. You don't give yourself a lot of room for error. So we went on a little cold stretch from the offensive end, and they got a few buckets, and now the game's 1-2 possessions for the remainder of the game, and our guys continue to execute on the offensive end. I think that's where some of the stuff defensively, where we kind of fell asleep on some not ability plays, like just literally just not doing what we're supposed to do from a scouting report standpoint. And
Mhm.
you got to give Stonehill a lot of credit when they got the shots that they want to take, and we allowed them to get those shots. They made us pay for them. They shot a very high percentage from three. We turned them over a lot, but in the second half they settled down. We kind of, I think, defensively we got a little bit half step slow. Um,
Mhm.
so they were able to expose some of our stuff. Any defense you play, there's going to be a way to beat it. But can you make the offense and you dictate what the offense is doing? They have a hard time finding that way to beat it. But when the offense is able to kind of be a step ahead of you, now they find your weaknesses and they make you pay if it's a good team.
Coach, you've got a good team coming in Saturday afternoon, Purdue Fort Wayne. How about the Mastodons this year?
They're very good. I mean, they're very, very, very good. If you go back and look at his record in November, it's astonishing. I mean, they win like 85% of their games in November. They're just for some reason, which I'm gonna try to steal some stuff from him this offseason because we don't have to play him again. But he has his teams really prepared early uh, in the season. And he deals with the same thing. They have more returners than us. They have a lot
Mhm.
of returners coming back this year, but last year dealt with a whole new team and had them ready to go. So they don't turn the basketball over. They're very efficient on both sides of the ball, and they just keep coming at you. And the turnover thing is something that we'll see whose style prevails a little bit just from that standpoint. If we're going to be successful Saturday, we have to turn them over. And that's not what they do a great job of taking care of the basketball. So one of those two things has got to give come Saturday afternoon.
All right. And then after that game, I believe the next one up will be our first conference match, will it not? Isn't
I
this the
believe so.
last
Yep.
pre-conference?
We have more but they threw 2 games in here. We have 3 more non-conference games after this weekend, so we have 4
Right.
total.
Mhm.
But we have they threw a conference scheduled game here in the next week for us. Two
Okay.
conference games.
So, like
But
Coach
again,
King,
just like the kind of the motto of our schedule so far, it's they're on the road. So
this is very true. So, like Coach King was talking about, she said she's seen more and more of the Southland teams, the games that she's been watching and scouting a little bit. Have you looked at any of the Southland men's teams in your viewing?
yeah, I mean we it's all we do right now is watch college basketball. I feel like my household is, the TV's on college basketball, whether it's me on the computer watching our game and then somebody else on the screen. But had a chance to, not evaluate our conference teams necessarily, but I've watched a lot of them play. And the league is, I don't want to say as good as it's ever been. It's as good as it's been since I've been in the league. So, teams are really doing a good job of attracting high quality players to our league, and then a lot of us are retaining them. So you'll see a lot of familiar faces, and then people have added new firepower. So uh, our leagues, I really imagine we're all going to beat up on each other this year, and you're going to have a lot of a lot of good basketball teams that are in the middle of the pack, just because win your home games, lose your road games type of scenario. Um, but I don't see any let up on the schedule when we get into league play. So it'll be a lot of games, hopefully like Stonehill the other night, where just got to give yourself a chance in that last 2 minutes, and let's see if we can execute a little bit better than the other team.
All right, Coach. Last question. We're in season, so it doesn't have to be at home or even with a team. But what's a good Thanksgiving memory for you?
Yeah, no,
Pops
that's
up.
easy. So a year ago today, we brought Sarah home from inpatient rehab. So
Yeah.
so that's an easy one. We'll never forget the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, that after her going through her brain injury. So um, that we actually we were looking at those photos yesterday with the kids. So that was obviously a very memorable day, and one we're very thankful for.
All right. Outstanding stuff. Coach, good luck to you and your guys on Saturday. We'll be out in Phoenix, but we'll see you again next week.
All right, sounds great. I appreciate it. Go
All right,
Lions.
folks. Lines up, everybody. We got a little more Inside Line Athletics coming your way after this. Welcome back, everybody. Some more of Inside Line Athletics, our Thanksgiving edition. Joined now by head coach Clint Dolezel. The Lions, their season ended last Saturday. A tough one against the Southland Conference champs, UIW. But, Coach, winning 2 of your last 3, everything around the locker room, in the weight room, and in the offices had to be better.
No doubt, no doubt. We're playing better football, obviously. Finally learn how to win there against Stephen F. Austin, and then come back and playing pretty well, still making some mistakes, but again, finding how to win against Houston Christian and taking the number 6 team in the nation to everything they wanted deep into the fourth quarter. And, again, opportunities were there. Just didn't make enough plays at times, and probably goofed up right before halftime and giving them a shot at another field goal there. Just it was a winnable game for us, no doubt, and we know we're getting close.
Those guys had to feel a little bit of that, and the progress in those 3 games. They're getting closer to learning how to win those kind of contests.
Right, it's just less and less mistakes. Even the Houston Christian game, we went back and looked at it, and I counted up, just on offense, there were 62, times where we didn't do our jobs on plays. And I said, guys, just cut those in half and don't turn it over against Incarnate Word, and we're going to be in it, and we did that for the most part. I think we maybe even won the turnover battle against them. I don't know if it was 2-1 or 2. I don't remember what exactly it was, but it kept us in it for sure, taking care of the football, and defensively played good. Really played well, honestly, up until honestly, I put it on the offense. We didn't get enough first downs to keep our defense off the field. And they just wore down. I mean, they're a big, strong team, and they got a really good offense, and it's hard to keep them down that long. And they made 2 plays there when we were just gassed basically in in that last quarter there.
Coach, what was the turning point in those last 3 games and everything before that? Heard there was some clubhouse meetings.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in pretty much every ball game you play, you just try to break down and show the kids, coach and staff too, of what it takes and why we're in the situation we're in. Obviously, taking care of the football turnover margin is always going to be a big factor in that, and the biggest factor. But it comes down to it's not that they're so much better than us when we're losing football games. It's just self-inflicted wounds, and clean those things up. We started holding guys, more accountable, and on and off the field, and it paid off. And a lot of times guys when you're struggling, can just you'll find out what they're made of. As far as adversity, and we've had a lot of adversity over the last 2 years, and credit to the kids that they hang in there and they battle to the end. And what, they got a taste of what it's supposed to be like in those last 3 weeks. And there was different personalities on the sideline against Incarnate Word. We were driven, and we wanted to win that football game through and out. And the fact that they believed they could do it, I think so. You always talk about it, but until you actually go do it, it means a lot. And they were hungry.
Ron Peace, I think the term settling down, it might be overused sometimes, but maybe that was really what he needed, and the time to do so in a few games. He's really blossomed into somebody you like.
He has. I mean, he's a good football player, no doubt. I mean, he's shown his sparks in games where he's definitely could be the best quarterback in the conference at times. But another year with him is only going to get better. Reading, comfortable in the offense, taking care of the football. That's the biggest thing. Our ratio was not good, touchdown passes to, interceptions. We're going to clean that up, and he'll only be better next year, and, get guys to push him.
Be sure and tell him that my Jefferson Bulldogs are coming after his Malakoff Tigers, by the way. They're playing, I think that's on Friday afternoon. So anyway, how about defensively? Brandon Tucker, what a job by your linebacker. Only produced, he's now the #1 tackler in all time at ET.
Yeah, I've had some great talks with him over the last couple of days. Obviously, we want to keep him around, and the season he had was unbelievable. Played a lot of downs for us. Talked to his dad too about it. Talking about next year and what we can do to, keep him healthier, because he was beat up, but he played through it, and that's a sign. There's a lot of good football players out there, but if they're not available to you, and be on the field, which he was. We got to take care of guys like that, during the week of practice. And what a year by B Tuck, and deservedly he earned that, 100% earned that, to honor of defensive player of the conference.
So, Coach, let's talk about off-season, which started and is really going to pick up steam when they open up the portal doors.
It started Sunday.
Sunday for football.
I don't know what you're talking about. For us, the off-season started Sunday, and we're heavy and hot after it.
Good deal. Well, talk a little bit about the process and your thoughts on this big windfall of talent that is going to come when the NCAA reduces the number of roster spots. Yeah,
it'll be interesting. I'm sure, FBS is definitely in it and on it, and we're pretty sure we are too, with the 105 having to, break your roster down. And that's a lot of talented players with no place to go. And, we like the fact that, we're in a better situation than FBS, because, you know, they're if they're walk-ons or they're right there on the bubble of making those teams and they can't be around there, they got to want to go somewhere to play, and probably down is it. And so we're definitely hitting that hard and looking at we want quality players too. We want guys that have been playing. We're still going to be JUCO heavy. We're going to go get players that have been playing. I think that was, you know, prevalent of why we were better this year with the players we brought in. We didn't miss on many of them. Most of the guys we brought in were, you know, key players for us and played a lot of downs for us, especially on offense. We're going to have to do that on defense this year with losing several of those seniors, really good football players, and you know, fill in some spots and keep the ones we got. That's the biggest thing. I want to take care of the guys that have been here, done that, are loyal to the program, and you know, show everybody around why people stay here, you know, at East Texas. And you know, our culture is great, and it's with this coaching staff and it's with the players, and you know, we're hot on it. We are. As soon as I get off here, I'm going to sit down with a couple coaches, and you know, before we head off to Thanksgiving, enjoy a bunch of turkey, and get some more players in here to keep on rolling.
Offensive line was a place y'all wanted to improve, possibly number one on the list from a year ago. Those guys didn't grade out too poorly this year, did they?
No, we were better. There's no doubt about it. We still, you know, we're going to lose some guys because we probably had 10 guys that played a lot of downs for us. And when you're competitive, you want to play all the time. And we may lose some, but hopefully we're keeping the ones we want. We definitely know we need to go get out a couple players. I mean, we're only losing a couple players as far as seniors on the offensive side. I think we're only lose 2. If we can keep those guys around, I mean, that's how you get good. I mean, it's just keeping your players around. You know, all the teams I coached in pro ball, I mean, we kept, you know, I'd say out of, you know, 10 guys of your core out of 22, 24 players because of our small roster. And that's when you get good. You keep your guys around. They play 3 or 4 years in the program. They understand what we're doing, and they understand what we want on and off the field, which is huge. You know, if there's not a lot of stress off the field, it sure is nice.
Yep. Coach, kind of off topic, but it's still football related. So Prairie View is going to get a new coach, and we saw an article over the last couple of days of the 5 names that are popping up as candidates. Steve McNair's older brother, whom they referred to as the original Air McNair, and he spent plenty of time in the arena leagues. Did you two bump head to head?
A lot. Yeah. He was a good one. Great guy too. If they'd be great, lucky to get him. He's a very smart, articulate guy who knows football. You know, playing that position at quarterback, that'll only help them there. You know, and they already got a lot of good players there. You know, hopefully they can keep them. They got a good program there. I mean, they were a good football team when we played them there. There's no doubt. We caught them that they were hot against us anyway, for sure, and had a pretty successful season. So, yeah, he would be a good one to get.
Coach, with and back to the recruiting, what about high school seniors? They're the group that kind of gets shoved back a little bit by the portal's existence to begin with, and then with this fall of other talent.
Even more so now. You're right. You know, we try to keep our connections, try to keep you know, with our high school coaches, and you know, they're not dummies. They understand what's going on with all that. Now, they might not know the whole 105 thing and how that's going to affect them too.
Right.
You know, a lot of players, unless they're just, you know, group of 5, group of 4 type players,
right,
it's going to be hard to go spend a scholarship on those. There's going to be so much talent out there, just walk-ons in general. I mean, you know, out of our 85, you know, plus that are on scholarship, the other 20, they're going to be really good football players. I mean, there's no doubt. There's the trickle effect down, and you know, you tell them you come in and you try to earn it. You know, with what we have here against the talent we got, and that's all you can do. You know, in that aspect, because you know, it's tough. I tell you what, the JUCOs and the Division II schools ought to be loaded with talent, because there's a lot of them getting overlooked, and if they don't want to have to pay for their school and go get a scholarship, that's where they would go if, you know, they're not those top tier guys, and there's going to be really good football players coming out of JUCOs, which there always has been, but even more so now.
Okay, good deal. All right, Coach, before we run out of time, tell us a little bit of favorite Thanksgiving memory. It doesn't have to be football, but I would expect it probably is.
A little bit, you know, it's my mom's side of the family is always where we spent Thanksgiving. Christmas
Okay.
was the side of the Dolezels. My mom's side is the Allens. I had 26 first cousins, and obviously that's Dan Campbell's. He's one of those first cousins in that side of it, and
Yeah.
we always got together. Basically in Meridian is where he grew up,
Mm-hmm.
Meridian, Texas, and you know that you had talked about 26 first cousins, all my aunts and uncles, and all the second cousins along with it.
That's a
It's
big
crowded.
one.
Oh, it's a blast. You know, we play every kind of game that you can think of, and obviously we're going to be outside, weather permitting or not permitting, most of the time, because most of the time your parents didn't want you inside; they
Yeah,
want you outside,
I'll
playing.
get out of here for a while.
Yeah, exactly. Get out of our hair for a while, and then we'd come in and eat and play dominoes, and which 42. A lot of people don't know what 42 is, but I grew up with uncles of dominoes. Love playing 42. It's like spades with dominoes, basically.
Yep.
But yeah, those memories of just hanging out with family. There's nothing better. Look forward to the holidays, getting to deer hunt with all my family members too. So yeah, nothing better than, especially being in college too. College was the best. You know, you have a whole month off during Christmas break. I mean, what's not to love about that?
No doubt about it. All right, Coach. Well, you don't get a month to celebrate, but
No,
go have a couple of days and have a great Thanksgiving to you and yours.
appreciate it. You too.
All right, folks, Lions up. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Inside Lion Athletics, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.